Hello everyone, welcome to Palmetto DMR. This is Phil, KR4NO. I want to go through a real quick video on how to program the Pi Star for Quadnet. Assuming you already have the Pi Star, the hat, power supply, possibly a case for the Pi, and your SIM card and the hat for the Pi. Assuming you have all of that, first thing you want to do is go to the Pi Star software, go to downloads, and go ahead and download this RPI version 4. That looks like the latest one. Download it to your computer. Do not unzip the file though. Then you want to open, what I use is Balena Etcher, and you'll find that file. Your target's going to be your thumb drive. You send that, you flash that to the thumb drive. Once it's complete, you'll open up you'll put the SIM card into the Pi slot, into the slot there where the card goes. Turn it on. Once it loads up, this is going to be the first screen that you see. No modes defined, so we're going to program those nodes so that it will work with a DMR configuration. So let's start here. Your general configuration, leave Pi Star as the name, put your call sign, and then choose whatever frequency you want to use to do that with. It has to be at least 4 decimals, like 0.5500. If you just put 0.55, it won't go through, but it will tell you that. You don't have to change the latitude, longitude unless you want to. You can either do grid square, or you can type in your county or your city or whatever, however you want to do that, how specific. And this is just to help me. In the URL, it's going to send a link back to your QRZ page if you put something like this, pointing back to qrz.com/db/yourcall. Whether you've set it up or not, you will have a page there on the QRZ database. This is private, not doing APRS. I'm in the New York time zone, and even though UK and US are the same, I'm going to change it. And then I'm going to apply changes. And we're going to do this several times because it writes this to the software package and updates it. Then it's going to start the service over, and there'll be a little message pop up. There it is, that we need to select our modem. So we're going to do this, like I said in the beginning, for DMR radio. If you want to do a fusion, or you can do any of these modes. You can do fusion to DMR. It's a little bit different setup. If you want to do fusion to NXDN, DMR back over to fusion, or DMR to DXN, NXDN, you can set those up. This is strictly DMR back to the hotspot. The hat type we're using is an OLE type 3, and again, I'm going to hit apply changes. And you have to do this several times, but it doesn't take but just a minute for it to restart each time. And you really shouldn't get too far ahead going down into the other areas. There's obviously times when you can. So okay, so now our DMR ID shows up, and we want to go get that put in. Then we want to take the radio modem type, and for this hat that I'm using, I've always used the STM32 Raspberry Pi hat. It seems to work good. Now I can go on down here and select my DMR option. I can move ahead with that. So I want to set this up for Quadnet, and if you check your option box and scroll to the very bottom, I'm going to use Quadnet 1, which is Georgia, and I think I'm going to have to redo this, but I'm going to go ahead and change my SSID number and apply the changes. And the reason you want to do, you don't have to do number 06. It can be anything. If you've got two hotspots running, you might want to set one up as O1, and if you can keep track of them, then the next one's O2, and it keeps those hotspots differentiated in the system, and there won't be any confusion. Yeah, it actually kept it. Okay, now under the options, what I want to do is type something like this: pass equal ABCD uppercase 1 2. It could be ABC 1 2 3, but I'm just going to use this as an example. And right quick before I apply changes, on all the Pis I set up, I always use the Cat5 cable, plug it right straight into my system, so it's not running on the Wi-Fi. This particular one is actually set up for my phone. But if you want to connect it to your home Wi-Fi, scroll down here, click Configure Wi-Fi, and then you can scan for networks right there. So that's how you do that. There is what they call a WPA supplement that you can add into the software when it starts booting up the first time, but honestly, I've had a lot better luck doing it this way and letting it find it. So we changed our pass back up here to the settings. We put a passcode or a password in, and I'm going to apply changes. And here's why that's important. It's going to let us log in to Quadnet and do some changes. So you can see that we're working. We've got all green lights. We're listening for DMR. You can see some traffic, some stations that, me and another guy's been talking there. Bill up in Pennsylvania. So everything's working. Now, if you go to the Quadnet website, the server page for Atlanta, and let me see if I'm even in here. I know I've got several. Let me do this. I'm going to go just key the radio one time. Okay, so you can see the red pop up. KR4 no test. And that shows I'm transmitting. So back over on the Quadnet page, you can see right here, that's me talking on Palmetto DMR. It shows a lot of information. Now, I also have got a new node that shows up right here. Here's the other one. And here's this one. So if you notice in the time slot 1 and 2, there's nothing. And on this one in time slot 2, there is the talk group for Piedmont. So what you do is go up to self-care and log in, and then do the A, B, C, D, 1, 2. Okay, so at this point, see, there's no time slot, or there's no talk group. So let's do 31451, and that's going to make this a static talk group. I could go add another talk group if I wanted to, and create another channel in the radio and switch from one to the other. So what this is going to do, why you want this to be a static talk group, if you set up a talk group for Quadnet or most of any of the systems, they are not truly listening. If you go to that channel you have programmed in your radio, you may not hear anything. You won't hear anything unless you key the radio, and then it's almost like it logs you in. It enters you into the talk group. But if you set it up as static, it won't. It's automatically going to send that traffic right straight through to your radio. You're going to hear people talking immediately. You don't have to key up and enter into the talk group. So you want to set your talk groups up as static, unless you just don't want to hear them. So that's how to get started on Quadnet. This keeps me, each time I key up, I'll come up here red like these guys, and you'll see the talk group name. So that's how to set it up for Quadnet. Hope it gets you going. Enjoy and have fun.